Shalom. Mic check. Mic check. Shalom. Let me see. Gotta see if this audio is working. Let's see this. Gotta see if this.
You know what? And the Lord's going to provide.
Nice. Okay. I'm back up. 421. Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakodash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are teaching 100% truth of the Holy Scriptures. Shalom to the elect, and shalom to the brothers that are pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, truth and sincerity. And this lesson is going to be entitled Testimony Who Will Be Sustained by the Lord, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. And this inspiration, I was inspired by what the elder has said here. And I don't know his name, but they're over here at GMS San Francisco live stream, and this was from last week's camp. But it just went live earlier today. Haven't checked it out. Lord willing, I'll check it out later. But this is around the 30. This is the 34-minute mark, right? And I suggest y'all brothers subscribe to them bros and be edified. But they were going into fasting, and what the elder says sparked my mind to, come with this testimony, right? Because what he says is going to be is 100% true, right? And that is what I wasn't even gonna share this. This happened some time ago, right? But let's get to it, starting at the 34-minute mark.
So there's a way to escape, and that's what you got to be focused on, right? There's no food. Well, you know what? Hey, the Lord's going to provide for me, even if I don't need the food, even if I don't get the food, right? Well, there's accounts who I believe it was Elijah. He was given a meal, and he was able to not eat for it's like a month or two, something like that, right? But he was satiated. Yep. Well, you mentioned Daniel. Yep. But the prophet Habakkuk, he was transported, right? And as he was cooking, and he gave that plate of food to Daniel. But hey, the Lord can just give us that power to not even need food. However it happens, you just stay true to Yahweh Shem Shai. That's all we gotta be focused on.
Well, that's what I'm supposed to be. Now kicks in there. You don't need food to survive. Right. You don't need water to survive. All right. All you need is Yahweh Shem Shai. The Most High can turn on the thing that was in your body previously where you didn't need food. You can turn that back on for a certain amount of time, man.
Yep.
Okay. And then also, if you ever fasted before, your body makes energy when you reach a certain point. Okay, it makes food and it produces synthetic water for your body to sustain itself, man. You could go a while in that state. Okay, it's called autophagy. So you could go a while in that state. You ain't gonna die. These people think you go one day without food, you're gonna die. They get the second day, they start feeling them hunger pains. They're gonna bug the hell out. I'm dying. I need food now. I'm gonna die. So they gonna bug the hell out, man.
I got a quick one. Second Esdras 2:27. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful. Yeah. But thou shalt be merryful and have abundance.
Hey. Hey, read that again, Bible.
Yep. Second Esdras 2:27. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance.
Hey, and this is why we're hastening today, right? We look forward to these times. We look forward to Jacob's trouble, right? We look forward to Esau coming down with great wrath. We look forward to him implementing this system. Because, hey, these things have to happen. right? Through much tribulation shall we enter into
I
the
think
kingdom.
that's it.
But as it
Those
says, the
are
scriptures say, don't be weary.
fasting part. But as far as um what the brother had he said autophagy. Autophagy, the Greek for self-eating, is the body's natural cellular recycling and cleanup process. It clears out damaged proteins, misfolded organelles like mitochondria, and cellular debris, converting them into energy and new healthy building blocks. Right. So, hey man, that this is the scientific um word for that. Autophagy. And I'm gonna get into my testimony as far as what the brother has said. Amen. The Lord, like he said, the Lord could just, let me see.
Stay true to Yahweh Shem Shai. That's all we gotta. That's all we gotta be focused on.
Well, that's
I
where
got
wisdom and knowledge kicks in there.
Yeah.
You don't need food to survive.
Right.
You don't need water to survive. All right? All you need is Yahweh Shem Shai. The Most High can turn on the thing that was in your body previously where you didn't need food. You can turn that back on for a certain amount of time, man.
Yep.
Okay? And then, also, if you ever fasted before, your body makes energy when you reach.
And that's the thing, right? Because I was fasting for X amount of days, right? Because I got to the point to where, one day, it was like it was I don't want to say easy, but it was not as hard, right? So, like the scriptures say, we have to afflict our souls, afflict our spirit, So I took it to some days, and I remember I was young, so I had made a vow to the Lord, like, Lord, I'm finna fast X amount of days for you, right? So, so I had to keep my end of the bargain as far as doing what I had vowed to do. And like the scriptures say, if you make a vow, be sure to pay for it or something like that. Let me see. Uh, if you make a vow, make sure. Ecclesiastes 5 and 4. When thou vowest a vow unto the Most High, defer not to pay it, for he hath no fools, no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. So you have to do it. Better it is, better is it that thou shouldest not vow than thou shouldest vow and not pay, right? So you said you were gonna do it, so now shit, you have to do it. So I told the Lord, Lord, I'm gonna fast X amount of days. The night of the last day, and got to the point where I was like, golly, I can't make it. Go on to, in the flesh, I couldn't do it. I truly I couldn't. So I cried to the Lord, asking the Lord to strengthen me to get me through this fast and to continue to so I could do it. Yeah, because I knew that if I didn't finish it, I was gonna have to go through that hell again, and it would have been for naught, right? So I prayed to the Lord and asked if He could put the Spirit upon me to finish my vow, basically to finish my X amount of days fast. And man, it was hell, right? And I go to sleep, and Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai gave me a dream, and in this dream, I was in a castle setting inside the castle, and I just seen a room. It just started like in a room, right? And it was these big walls, like a king's castle, so to speak. It had like nice uh, like banners. I don't forget what they were, right? But then in the back there was like a nice little fireplace, and in front of that fireplace, right, was this big table, beautiful table, right? It was like a king's table, long table, some good wood with all types of like designs on it. You know what I'm saying? Etched onto the sides of the table, and on this table there was all types of food, man. Like it was a king's banquet. It had all types of chicken and turkey and different fruit juices and agua frescas and different types of pastries and all types of good food, right? And I was like, "Oh shit," So I go and I just start getting a little taste of this and a taste of this and a sip of this and some water of this and some, I was just eating. It was a buffet, right? So I'm tasting a little bit of everything, and I'm eating, man. And I was like, "Oh, right." So come the next morning, and I wake up. I'm like, "Oh shit." Like I felt energized the night before. I'm damn near about to fucking not die, but it felt like it. and and in the morning I woke up with hella energy, like ready to conquer the world. Hop up out the bed like Bruce Lee when he gets knocked down, he does a little kick in the air to get up. Like that. Felt all types of energy. You know, I felt, just like I had just like I did eat that whole thing, right? And then I I felt bad. I'm like, what the fuck? No, man, because I'm telling you, I felt full. I felt sustained. I felt like I just ate, a lot of food, and you wake up energized. But then I I felt bad because I'm like, "Shit, I done fucked up. I done ate all that food. I messed up. Imma have to start the whole fast over again." And, it went from a high of, like, joy to a low, like, "Damn, like, I let the Lord down," you know? And then it came to mind like, "No, man, like, you don't have a castle, you don't have this big, table with all that food in it. What like, it was my mind was still processing it. I'm like, "Oh, shit, the Lord, gave me that dream, and in my dream, I'm eating, and it, like, what happened into the real world, so to speak." So when the brother has said that this right here, this part, let me see if I get it.
You know? But hey, the Lord can just give us that power to not even need food.
Yeah,
However
like
it
the brother
happens,
said, and then
you just
the elder
stay
David
true to
goes into
Yahweh
it.
Shem Shai. That's all we gotta. That's all we gotta be focused on.
Well, that's what the analysis kicks in there. You don't need food to survive.
Right.
You don't need water to survive. All right? All you need is your Shem Shai. The Most High can turn on the thing that was in your body previously where you didn't need food. He can turn that back on for us.
And that's what it was, right? Yahweh Shem Yahushai essentially turned that off to the point to where I didn't need food. I didn't need no water. It was just a thing of my faith. Like, Lord, because I cried out to the Lord before, and I mean that only lasted so long because after that it was like all hell, it was bad. You know what I'm saying? But I got through that fast. But the point is that for that, the morning I felt satiate, man. I felt sustained. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shem Yahushua heard my cries. And that was a very big faith booster for me, man. That you cry out to the Lord, and he heard, you know what I'm saying? He heard my prayers, and he came through, hooked it up with a dream, and essentially gave me energy when we as living in this body, we need food to continue. And just you have to have calories in order to move about. All right. So, like the brother has said, Yahweh Shemel Shai could turn that 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 off. And that's why when he said that, I'm like, oh shit, man, that happened to me, man. Yahweh Shemel Shai came through in such a way that it was just marvelous, man. It was marvelous. So I'm gonna get some scriptures to go along. Salaki, if I've been ranting. Saint Matthew chapter 4. This is our Lord Yahushai. It says Saint Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, Then was Yahushai led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward unhungered. Man, just imagine, man, how much, I mean, Yahushai, he's in the Spirit, but now how much more when he was like super in the Spirit, right? He was still in the flesh, right? So I don't want to say that hindered him any, but it just took it to another level, these 40 days of fasting, right? Because he was still, again, in the flesh, still being bogged down by the lust of this flesh. Now he put that off 40 days and 40 nights, man. That right there is is a strong thing. It says, and when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of the Most High, command these stones be made bread. And a good point is that Yahushua hit him with the scriptures, as we are to fight spiritual demon Satan and all types of warfare that we have. We use the scriptures. It says, but he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High. And that's the thing, right? We have to feed our spirit in order to grow. It's not a thing of course, we have to eat our daily bread just to get by because we are in this flesh, right? But when it comes to the spirit, we have to, it's not just about eating physical food. We have to nourish our spirit, right? And it was a nurturing of the spirit that went into you could say the flesh in my part, right? But again, just like the brother stated, he turned that off for me, right? And that is it's a beautiful thing to hear, you know, because what this elder has said, I again, you could say, like, live that for for some time, because after that I was like, golly, Lord, please help me, I can't do this. But it was just an amazing thing to go through personally. St. Matthew chapter 22 and verse 29, right? Because we understand that when we're fasting, we are in a heavenly, in a more angelic, state, right? Because we're putting out the flesh. And just to prove that, this is St. Matthew chapter 22 and verse 29. It says, Yahushua answered and said unto them, Ye do err, because they were talking about, the woman that had 7 husbands, the brothers that had died, one after the other, whatever. It says, Yahushua answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High. For the resurrection, for in the resurrection, that neither marry nor are given in marriage, but these are as the angels of the Most High in heaven. Right. So it's just showing that the angels, they don't, they're not into the flesh like we are in the world. Right. They're not having sex up there. They're not, cooking food. They're not brewing teas. They're not, sipping alcohol, right? Because there's no need for that in the heavens. That's for here on earth, We need the bread to sustain ourselves. We need the water to quench our thirst. So we get hydrated because that's part of the maintenance of this body. Right. So the angels, they don't need that. Right. And another example of that I'm gonna get is in the book of Tobit. What is that? Tobit chapter 12 and 19. This is the angel Raphael, right? He reveals to him to I think the brother's name was Tobias. I forget. Tobit. I think that was the dad. I forget. But they went on a mission together to get, if I'm not mistaken, some money. And he fought the demon, or uh, the wife. I forget the story, but here's the point. It says, Tobit 12 and verse 19, all these days I did appear unto you. I did neither eat nor drink, but ye did see a vision, right? Because Raphael was he's an angel, right? So there was no need for him to be sustained, right? Eating some lamb, right? Chowing down on some fig Newtons, right? He says, but he did see a vision because he wasn't eating that. He didn't need that because he's an angel. So the angels don't need food. So right, so that when we fast, it puts us in a heavenly angelic state because we're putting off the flesh and we're tapping into the spirit more and more and more. Right. So that's the like we read in Saint Matthew the 20 no, it was the fourth chapter, right? Man shall not live by bread alone, because the word is parabolic to food, right? Is also known as wine and honey, you know these different types of foods is what the holy scriptures, the understanding is known as. Okay, so I'm gonna get what the brother had quoted in the book of Kings 19 verse, oh shit, First Kings 19 and then 8. Right, because Elijah, he was running away from Jezebel. Right. This is and he had to go on a mission, like the brother has stated. This is First Kings chapter 19 and verse 8 says, and he arose and did eat and drink and went went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of the Most High. Right. So you had Elijah, he had to go on a mission for the Lord, right? And the it was an angel. And right here, yeah, the angel of the Most High came to him. The angel of Yahweh Shai came again the second time and touched him and said, arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. Right. So one meal got him through 40 days and 40 nights. Now, how much more when, I mean, we seen the scarcity of food that's gonna come by ways of the Strait of Hormuz being closed, no fertilizer coming in. So with crops, you don't feel it this season. You're gonna feel it next season and the next season after that. Right. So right now we're basically reaping the harvest of last year's growth of last year's was being planted. So coming up in this next reaping season, there ain't gonna be nothing or very little. And best believe that they're not gonna go to the stores in the hood. They're gonna be going to more richer neighborhoods where they could pay the markup prices. Like Jake in the hood, is being a stranglehold. And, I think the food stamp shit also starts next month, if I'm not mistaken, where you have to like do like community service, or I forget the exact requisites in order to receive that. Right, but yeah, that was it. It's lucky if I talk too much, but I'm gonna just play this one more time and then I'm gonna close out. They around here, I think.
It says, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. That's it. So there's a way to escape, and that's what you got to be focused on, right? There's no food. Well, you know what? Hey, the Lord's going to provide for me, even if I don't need the food, even if I don't get the food, right? Well, there's accounts who I believe it was Elijah. He was given a meal and he was able to not eat for it was like a month or two, something like that, right? But he was satiated. Well, you mentioned Daniel, but the prophet Habakkuk, he was transported, right? And as he was cooking, and he gave that plate of food to Daniel, But hey, the Lord can just give us that power to not even need food. However it happens, you just stay true to Yahweh Shem Shai. That's all we gotta be focused on.
Well, that's what wisdom and knowledge kicks in there. You don't need food to survive. Right. You don't need water to survive. All right. All you need is Yahweh Shem Shai. The Most High can turn on the thing that was in your body previously where you didn't need food. You can turn that back on for a certain amount of time, man.
Yep.
Okay. And then also, if you ever fasted before, your body makes energy when you reach a certain point.
Yeah, the bird goes into autophagy. Yeah, so so willing, it was edifying Salaki for the rant, you know what I'm saying? But it was just, just hearing this brother and going into through the spirit, it was just a testimony that I wanted to share. So gonna close out by giving all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chakodash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Shalom.